No, not yet. I'll wait till we get everything in the water, Jaden. Roger. Stand by, Chris. So wait until we get the mess in the water. Atalanta's heading still. Roger. Yeah, I was lateraling against it, but now I'm pinned full aft. Just to hold Atalanta off the ship. I don't care where Hercules goes now. As long as Mike hurries up and gets it in the water. Sorry about that, everyone. My boom mic is supposed to mute when I did, but it has a wicked click when it goes by. The switch is noisy.
No, that was a little bit more than just a click.
The reason we wait to zero everything until we're in the water is the distraction is more than my reptile brain can deal with on the launch. Sometimes we get in trouble getting Hercules in the right place. And B, Atalanta, while it's still on the deck, has a wicked offset from the boat. So if you zero that stuff while you're on deck, you'll get a wonky reading. And C, when we're in the water and I can verify we're tail to tail, then I'll zero the tether reps. Or when I can see that these are reading right, like Atalanta still has a bit of it's got like a 20 to 30 degree offset that comes and goes. It bothers some people. I'm, like most things on here, used to it. So I was able to easily hold against the current there while they were getting all ready, but as soon as we are ready.
Roll.
Copy that. Sent.
Give her a bump, Jaden. Was left over from the Mark days. He would always verify that we're... if you're happy, I'm happy. You can run it down about 20 meters a minute.
Copy that.
I have no idea what the depth here is. Someone told me earlier, but... Right there. I'm going to try and gently go off comms this time and hand it over to our data engineer, Rachel.
This is an audio slate for dive H2082. UTC time is 19:14:48 mark. This is an audio slate for dive H2082. UTC time is 19:15:25. Mark.
Let me check with Dan to make sure. Video. Dan says they should be up now. I don't know if you see them. Okay. Yeah, they're showing is on, so it could just be a boot up problem, yeah.
Hey, Chris, did Megan check with you and Dan about the downhill section between waypoints 1 and 2? All right, great, thanks.
Good morning, everyone. If you are able to, could we just do like a round of introductions, starting with the back row?
To what do we owe the pleasure of your company this morning?
Um, Hi, I'm Amanda Dedicatoria. I am not Kim. I'm just subbing in for her as she does a live interaction in the role of the SEF chair.
Well, welcome to the 4 to 8. Good
Oh,
morning, everyone. Welcome to the last dive of the expedition. I'm Brian Kennedy. I am the watch lead.
Good morning, or whatever time it is for you. I'm Harold Carlson. I'm a PhD student at the University of Hawaii at Manoa, and I'm in the science chair.
Good morning, everyone, from Palau. My name is Kilin Yao. I'm the data logger for the 48 Watch, and on shore, I am a student at Palau Community College majoring in STEM.
awesome. Thank you so much. And then we'll go with the front row whenever you guys are ready.
Hey, I'm Chris Krasnowski. I'm here as a navigator and mapper.
Hey everyone, I'm Jaden. I'm the Atalanta co-pilot for the 4 to 8. On shore, I work as a mechanical engineer at the University of South Florida.
Hello, I am Tej Pollock, and I am your video engineer intern.
And I'm Amber Flynn, the lead video engineer.
Thank you, everyone.
Just curious, how deep is the dive today?
Start at 14.
Yeah, 1450.
Brian, what can you tell us about this particular seamount?
So it looks a lot different than the satellite map again. This has been a theme the last couple of days, is the seamounts bathymetry has ended up being pretty different than what the kind of indication is from the satellite bathymetry. So it's a pretty long, like now it looks like a ridge. I think it used to be broader, but either due to some kind of mass wasting event or volcanic activity, it's carved away, and so it's now this kind of like long ridgy type thing. We're going to land on a local high to the northwest, go down slope a little way through this like saddle, and then start a long climb along the ridge, all the way up to about 700 and something meters. And we'll basically just see how far we can get. We've got a fairly long dive today, 20 to 24 hours, which will be our last dive of the expedition. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Thank you so much. Is there like a process when it comes to choosing a waypoint to explore?
Yeah, a bunch of people sitting around arguing, looking at screens. There's no formal process. We're Renato Kane, our nav daddy, our master navigator and mapper. He gets up early before all of us and compiles all the maps and gets us different layers, makes contours, brings up the backscatter, does all the relevant mapping stuff, and then the science leads get together with whoever's up and about and debate the different merits of the different ways to approach the seamount and compare that to other features we've explored, to either compare or contrast what we've seen on other dives, and eventually we argue till we come to consensus or someone gets tired of arguing their point.
Thank you. Thank you for that insight.
No worries.
Who did you say was Nav Daddy?
Rennie.
Chris, are you on SPL?
Yeah.
Why is he called Nav Daddy? Is he also Nav Father? Does he occupy that role as well?
You know, it's just, he's just got those paternal instincts training up all the navlings into proper navs.
Navlings? What
Yeah.
is the lingo like down there? Like, what's going on?
You know, mapping watches get kind of boring, and sometimes people get nicknames.
Yeah.
That's-
So, what's your nickname? Like Crispy or like what?
My
what do you
my
say?
traditional nickname here has been K2. That's been
Oh.
years.
You're K2? I thought K2 was like a boat.
No.
This whole time. Okay, how did you get K2?
You know, I don't really know. I think that was from Nicole. I don't know where it initially came from. I think, but Nicole, our old science chief scientist for OET, kind of perpetuated that.
Thank you so much for that insight. So, you know, considering there are more navigators than just yourself and Rennie, what are the ranks of being a nav? I think we talked about it.
Yeah,
the other
well,
day.
you start as a navling. Then you graduate to a
And then the council
to a
votes and
navigate.
approves you.
Exactly, yeah, there's a torch lighting ceremony and stuff. And then you become a nav. And then one day, you can become the nav daddy.
Wow.
But you can never become
Princess Wilhelmina.
King Nav Daddy Renato Kane.
But isn't
Oh, that's
there
only one person
other?
ever.
Okay, but worth a shout out.
Thank you for that insight.
Yes.
is part of the graduation process seeing colors that we can't see.
I can't share that information. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah. Some things are just for the navs to know. We see the whole world in a rainbow jet color map.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
it is, yeah.
I can only hope to.
Everything is just colored by range or depth to us.
Thank you.
So, Chris, are we going to land right on waypoint 1, or are we going to land on the side?
We're going to land on the side, unless you want to land on waypoint 1.
No, we can land on the side and come up. We'll just make a little bit longer dive.
I'm trying to reduce some complexities while we're doing Rachel training up here.
Okay.
I
Did you get to do the dive? Oh, cool. Okay.
Oh, it's still not on? Alright, give me a second.
Good morning from Palau. It is 4:43 a.m. here, and this is Kim at City on SciComm. I just want to thank Amanda for sitting in for me. We had a ship-to-shore interaction, and also shout out to each and every one of you who helped with the ship-to-shore interactions this expedition. I think it's been really fun for the students to engage in that live dialogue with the scientists on board and getting that experience on their side. So we are currently at 1,115 meters. Our goal is to get to, should we be getting to the floor pretty soon?
We're going to 1450, so we got another 300 meters.
Okay. Oh, okay. I was looking at the wrong dive plan. These 23-hour dives, how are they? I'm just so used to the 16 or the 20.
I don't think they change much. We have to be a little more judicious on sampling because we run out of sampling bio boxes, and sometimes if we sample things early on, they don't do as well in the bio box, and so the samples are a little more degraded when you get to the surface. But for the most part, they're not that different. And that's the beauty of the watch schedule, is it's about the same amount of work. If anything, it's a little bit less work a lot of times because we're not processing samples and we're not having to recover and redeploy and whatnot. We just kind of get in the groove of being in the control room more.
Oh, I get it. I didn't think about that. I didn't consider the sampling afterwards. So we have Rachel sitting in the Herc pilot seat. She's our data engineer. Yeah, Dan, our Herc pilot, is still with us, but he's in the control room, control van with us also. Yeah, so one thing about this Nautilus crew is that it consists of a lot of unique individuals, talented individuals. So I can encourage you to go onto nautiluslive.org to check out their bios. Thank you all our viewers for tuning in to nautiluslive.org. This expedition was named Liwu's Voyage by the Palauan stakeholders to promote traditional knowledge and best practices. So we are currently at 1,340 meters.
Oh,
So we are embarking on a 23-hour dive today. So thank you all for joining us. All the data collected will be used to support the management of the Palau National Marine Sanctuary and to inform marine conservational efforts. Okay, we have Dan back in the Herc pilot. Good job, Rachel.
Okie dokie. Seabed. Seabed for the last dive. I'm gonna, I'll wait till you get your gauges there. Which way's our dive track gonna be, Chris?
I don't think
Atlanta's
110.
looking
That doesn't sound right.
270 up the hill. Roger. I'm gonna turn Herc around here and look into the hill, and we're gonna get our bottom readings and all that happy stuff there.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I like it when we come down on steep, but I came down on the wrong side here. Why don't you come up just a few meters for me, Jaden?
Copy.
And
Do you want to switch the screen layout?
yeah, well, in a second here.
Okay.
Let me get the lay of the land here. You can. That's probably good there.
Copy.
Bring your head to the south just a little. Looks Hercules is looking directly up the hill there. There's Herc. Nice and steep. I like it. Okay, I'm gonna click in some autos here. If Chris has the DVL reset. You happy
all,
there?
You're all set.
All set. Roger. Double tap here. Gauges are all good?
Yep.
We'll get the manipulator out for Amber to do the... I gotta find my right button here. What's that? Oh, yeah, I'm good. Sorry. Yep. closer. While video's doing the white balance, you want to just check the jars and see, make sure the suction works. I forgot to do that on the way there.
Yep.
Looks like you got to rotate. Roger.
This looks like suction works.
Roger, thank you. Hey, Rachel, are you there in the data lab? Are you listening?
Oh, she's back here.
Are you listening back there, Rachel?
Rachel.
Rachel, are you on the line?
She is not. She's getting a headset.
It's so annoying.
Rachel on headset.
So you see the wall up here? Amber should see this too, or both video.
What's up?
So I have the manipulator in I don't know, 5 cameras, and when I open the jaw,
So
it's like a dancing 5 jaw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And
So
if you notice, bubble cam is 6. So there's some latency issues going on in the system there, which is not ideal for operations.
So which one is real?
The first one.
Gotcha.
Nothing is real, Amber.
That's some significant. So we have some known latency with the PTZ camera. We have 0 latency in Zeus because Ed is a purist and it's hardwired. Thankfully. Go SDI, HD SDI, or go home. Okay, where are all your assignments?
Miskin, please. Do you hear that, Dan?
What's that?
Niskin, please.
Okay. Oh, look, we can do a Niskin in future, past, and present tense. I'm going to retract this camera here.
Harold, can you just hit autofocus on your camera? Thank you.
FYI, while you shoot this Niskin with the manip, I'm gonna watch upper and NDI tools and see if this is a kilovolt issue or a camera issue.
I can almost. Yeah. You're gonna pull up NDI tools, or you want me to?
I've got it over here.
Got
It's
it.
also pretty stuttery in NDI tools.
Really?
I also realize this is the one manipulator angle where you can't actually see it in upper.
Okay. Are you gonna call it?
Oh god, okay. You ready?
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, Niskin.
Niskin 1 is fired.
Beautiful.
We have the same latency on NDI tools, so I think a good starting point would be a camera reboot.
Okay. You know, Wrangler's not
Sorry?
Wrangler's not in the equation.
Correct.
Sample number, please.
Roger.
This is sample number 82.
82.
All right. Any of these rocks loose?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, Jaden, that's going to be a closed jaw poke, and hopefully the one Ryan circled there is a likely victim right there, and the lasers are lasing it.
Alright.
Oh, they look so much bigger now.
Okay, Wrangler's turned off, by the way.
Roger. While Jaden's playing around with that, here I'll put, I'm going to do this. Dive. I'm going to put the PTZ on the craft. This is how we roll before we had all the other cameras. I'll just retract the... Oh, it is retracted. Okay, you can grab that manip up and get you a rock. Meanwhile, I will reboot the NDI.
Is the Zeus cam full wide?
Yeah, sorry, I'm rebooting ROV upper.
Okay.
I'm rebooting just the NDI stream. So about 45 seconds it should come back. I've got it off the wall here so it's not distracting for Jaden. Nope. Pick another one. Nope.
Solid.
You can yell at me too to pan right, pan left.
Can you pan right?
Right.
Yeah, I don't see much in the way of those two.
I can tell you from what I'm seeing at, those are all welded in with.
Yep. Right.
If you pick up the manip, we'll come up and look around here as we're getting going. Maybe we see another victim, but Brian will likely lose interest in rocks pretty quickly. I did see a coral on the way down. But
yeah, I did too. I saw a couple. There was, I think, a black coral somewhere close to where we're looking, I thought. But
they were back down the hill a little.
Yeah, I saw those too, but there was one closer that I saw just when we settled. But I'm sure we'll find more if we want to go ahead and just start up the hill.
So all the rocks look loose from here, but as you saw when we came down low, they were.
They're cemented in. Not that uncommon.
No.
Lots of sponge stalks in here.
Dan, when you get a chance, could you scooch the Orion arm over a
Right.
bit?
I can. I'll find the right button here.
Just FYI, upper cam's totally dropped out, or it's dropping in and out really badly, so I'm going to do some troubleshooting on camera settings.
Give me a second.
Looks like we're good. Thank you.
So I just rebooted only the NDI, Rachel. I can reboot the camera itself. Let me try that.
Yeah, I think that would be good when you get a second.
So that's upper, and I haven't touched lower, by the way. You want to zoom on that one, Brian?
Yes, please. So this creature here on the left that we're not looking at is a stalked crinoid, and we got a fish. Actually, let's zoom fish first before it escapes.
So this is a rat tail. It's a very common group of deep sea fish, the family Mercuridae.
Are you good on fish, or you want more?
Zoom close in on the head would be great. If the fish wants to cooperate.
Ooh, that's kind of hot. I'm going to play with my hydraulics here. Very cooperative fish.
Nice. Great. You can see the chin barbel, you can see the pelvic fin rays.
Still a little hot.
Yep, I think we're good. Thank you.
Let's, there it is. You can push back in on the yellow critter there. Sorry, Rachel, I didn't turn it back on. That would help if I did. It's back on. It'll be 45 seconds or so before it comes up.
All right, that should be good. Thank you.
Okay.
Probably a little Acanthogorgia. And before we take off, can we zoom sea cucumber?
Right. It's a little baby. Go ahead. Push in there.
Right. Thank you very much. All right. Let's start heading uphill.
Brian figures out what it is before the rest of us can even process.
I don't really figure it out what it is. I just know I get enough shot that I can look it up later.
Roger. We're still like, oh, what is that?
And I'm like, it's in focus. It's big enough. We can look it up later.
I got it. Move on. Okay, here we go. Onward and upward.
So we've landed on the side of this like local little rise here. That's obviously very volcanic in origin.
Dan, you ready?
No.
That's very volcanic in origin. Where
Well, that doesn't sound very on.
Let me just give me a second here
Okay.
to figure out what we got.
we're going to move 100 meters or so up to the summit, look around on the summit, and then come down a different side, and then kind of get over onto the primary ridge feature on this seamount in a couple hundred meters. Or probably a few hundred meters.
Oh, I can't deal with that. I can't take it. I can't.
Continue to see a lot of these sponge stalks and sponge bases here, but not seeing any live ones of that size. I think we caught a glimpse of one or two downslope when we were first landing, so I'm sure we'll see one eventually.
Since we're still having issues with upper, I was going to start taking a look at the camera settings.
Yeah, they've both been booted off the wall here.
Gotcha, I'll start checking settings.
Roger. Thank you, Archer.
Got a whole bunch of brittle stars and a crinoid hanging out on some dead bases. Got a little young whip thing here.
When I was just pushing there, I'm assuming. That's probably good. Layout 2.
If you got a little more, I would appreciate it.
I think, yeah, you can push in some more video.
I see a node.
Okay, yep, little
See
bamboo whip.
PC4 in there.
All right, thank you.
Can you find PC4 in there for me, Chris, and press it?
Crowd
On the right
iced
one.
it.
You got it up in here somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
You good there?
Yep.
Sorry, just whacked it.
Where's it go?
It went up
Oh,
there.
okay, there it is.
Yeah. Okay, ready for that ship move now. All the ducks are in a row,
Yep.
and I've got a very brief feel of the neighborhood.
20205.
Actually, I'm going to put it in that one.
Cool lava formation on this one.
Yep.
Got a sizable bamboo whip here.
Force Jaden to get a kink in their neck and look up. I'll give you a free Advil later. If you get tired of that, just hit the dive salvo and it will go back.
Big, tall bamboo whip here.
What's that?
I'm just commenting how tall this thing was. But can we go in the background, these little things on the rock back here? I don't know what those are.
All right.
I'm guessing they're going to turn out to be barnacles, but
You can push in their video. We're looking at alleged possible barnacles. I need to turn my joystick gain down.
yep, barnacles.
That's the yellow one?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
And a nice urchin here. Is that urchin sitting on a sponge?
Urchin munching on something?
Yeah, I'd like to see what it's munching on if
Yeah.
possible.
Can do.
If
folks. I don't think we're going to get anywhere with the upper bird dog. I'm just going to switch to stream convert since that's been reliable in the past.
Roger. Really missing my upper camera.
So 2010.
Come on. Push in there a bit. Maybe I could get Herc to. That's good. Thank you.
Urchin on sponge. Interesting. That's not a type of urchin I usually think of eating sponges. So that's interesting. All right, thank you.
Okay, off we go.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and keep the ship moving so we can get to the top of this hill. You good?
Yep.
Bridge nav 30205.
This right here looks like what the urchin was sitting on. Possibly the same thing.
Can we take a quick look at that?
Sure. Go ahead. Push in on the. Sponge, I guess, is what I'm looking at.
Yep. All right, that's good, thanks.
Okay. Kind of steep here.
Zoom coral, please.
Roger. If I can dial in my Z-bias so I don't have to land every time. Hey, push in on the red coral there.
All right, that's probably good, thanks.
What type of coral's that one?
I'm second guessing myself on these pink corals. I keep misguessing. I think it's Paragorgia, but I sometimes get my pink corals confused.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it has the paired polyps at the tips, which would mean
I have to
more
go
likely
digging.
hemicorallium.
I have to go digging a bit. Second.
Yeah, the base is kind of, well, it's hard to tell.
Can't tell if I'm looking at the base or a barnacle.
All right, we're
Oh,
good.
there's the base.
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
you can go away.
Another big stalked crinoid.
Looking sideways at the hill there. It is kind of steep. Ooh, is that a crevasse? It is.
Can we look at that, please?
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, that's big. I'm used to the sponges when they fall, they break up a little bit more.
Can you, in your router here, go to source ROV? And it should be ROV upper.
I can push in on the.
Okay, awesome.
Bridge nav, one more
What
step.
it is? Sponge?
Yeah, looks like
Looks like a big
dead
sponge.
sponge. All right, thanks.
Okay, go away.
Interesting sandy trough that we found.
Yeah.
Any luck with your stream convert, Rachel?
Yep. It's up and running now.
How's it looking? Is it wall worthy yet?
I think so. Yeah, the video's a lot smoother. I'm seeing basically this, it's basically right in line with what you're doing on Hercules.
Roger.
You're Dan. They want to zoom.
Huh?
They want to zoom.
That's it.
What do you want to see?
I was
Sponge and hole.
sponge and hole, please.
Roger. Okay, go ahead. Thanks. Sorry, I was distracted. Oh, that's good. Thanks.
That's an interesting place for
Always
a sponge.
playing with the spall cam.
That is an interesting one.
Huh?
You're just always playing with the spall cams.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thanks.
Okay, you can go away.
Why is it so interesting that it's in there?
No, it's just found a perfectly sized hole
Oh,
for
yeah.
itself.
It probably grew to the. It's probably growing to the size of the hole. But again, it's just kind of this thing that I'm sound like a broken record, and it's probably not as interesting as I think it is. But I'm always surprised when I see filter feeding organisms under shelter in holes, whatever. It just seems a little strange to me.
Yeah, because they want to be part of the current, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Over to the right.
We'll
there,
hold the
you can
ship
see it.
here, Chris.
Whoa.
Bridge nav, hold position.
I'm all out of the box here, so. You can push in there for me. You wanted to see that one, did you?
Yes, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is a black coral type of anthropotherian. Big cup. Goodness gracious, that's a big cup coral in the background too.
Well, I have to go around and look at that closer.
All right, I think we'll go with the black coral. If you wanna.
Might be able to get a zoom from here. What do you got, video? Got more zoom? Is that,
That's good enough for us. I'm intrigued by the geologic feature here that you can see an upper.
yeah, me too. Okay, you can go
Yeah,
away.
I've got another one of these lava tables.
Sometimes I'm lazy with the camera and I don't center it up.
That's pretty cool.
Yep.
Can we zoom coral on top once we?
Yeah, Raj, try and get it in all the shots here.
Harold, do you want to get still of this one?
Bonk. Someday we're going to get that coordinated. Okay, you can push in there. Go hit the rock somewhere. Scraping niskins on rocks. You need a tighter shot?
Yeah,
there?
if you would.
Yeah, go ahead. See if we can get her to hold still here.
Little mysid shrimp hanging out there with its brittle star. All right, thanks.
Okay.
Crusting sponge in the background too.
wonder if the imagery under Atlanta is as cool as it is over here. But we're gonna find out.
So this looks like an old lava channel, is my interpretation of this.
Yeah. I'm gonna, what's our bearing is south, basically?
200.
So Brian, what are you expecting to see on this dive?
I'm not entirely sure. I mean, this is going to be a lot of time on a ridge, and so I expect we'll have a pretty consistent coral community up there. I'm real curious to see if it's one of these kind of high diversity communities, or if it is what we've been seeing, like we saw last dive, where it was really primnoid dominated, and I don't have a way to predict that at this point for this depth. But once we get up to the kind of main ridge,
There a bit
I think it'll be interesting for me to see what the coral community looks like. I'm fairly sure there will be one.
hold up.
Here we have another
Push right in on that
sneaky zoanthid covered Paragorgia.
Yep.
Or
It looks more
Corella.
like fuzzier than usual.
Well, that's all the zoanthids, the parasitic zoanthids overgrowing it.
Oh, okay.
yeah, so the main coral itself is the pink, the tiny little polyps, and then the parasite is the yellow large polyps, the zoanthid. So zoanthids actually colonize other coral colonies and basically take over the skeleton.
All right, I think we're good with this. Thank you.
And where does the brittle star fall into
Okay,
this?
you can
Like,
go
is
away,
it?
thanks.
That's a great question. It's hard to say whether or not the brittle star was there from the beginning, but in a lot of cases they are. So the interaction between the commensal associates of these corals and their parasites is really fascinating.
Wow, look at that.
Whether or not they provide some protection.
This is cool terrain. This is really
Yeah,
cool.
this is really neat.
Definitely a national park.
Yeah.
Could be. Would
Can
be.
we take a quick look at that, please? I don't know what. That's the wrong direction, though, isn't it, for you?
Can push in on the bottle brush there.
So I think we've got upper out of the woods, so I was going to go ahead and continue with the cinema cam setup.
Roger.
All right, that's probably good. I know that's not the direction you want to be heading, so.
That's all right. Okay, you can go away, thanks.
I just have visions of like molten lava running and
Yeah.
pooling from each of one of these little buckets into the next and just kind of cascading down.
Oh, there's a sea spider right there.
You are really good at finding those.
I like these.
Push in on the spider.
I know Dan doesn't like them.
They freak me out. I have nightmares. It's about the size of the spiders we get in Oregon.
So these are picnogonids.
Crouched down looking at us like that, it looks particularly
Yeah, this
kinda
one looks
creepy.
particularly creepy. So it's not truly a spider, but it's more closely related to a spider than it is to a crab or a shrimp. It's closer to like a horseshoe crab, which is also not truly a crab.
All right, thank you.
Probably get a freak me out zoom there while we.
Yeah, it really looks like at any moment it could just pounce on the camera.
Is that full zoom? Actually,
That's
see
cool.
what-
That's a cool shot.
Sorry, I'm extending my
I missed it. How big are
camera
they?
there.
So
Or how
got-
big can they get?
So I mean, they're ubiquitous throughout the ocean, and in shallow waters, they're quite small. Only a few millimeters to centimeters, but in the deep ocean and in the polar seas, they can get maybe a foot across. Something like that.
Get a little bit bigger than that.
Bigger?
I think so. I mean, this thing's probably 20 or 30 centimeters.
Is it feeding on something? Yeah. Is it feeding on something in the
I can't
sand?
tell. I have to admit, I've never seen one crouch down this low and not be feeding, but I can't see what, if anything, it's attached to.
Yeah, is the proboscis in the sediment?
It does appear to be, yes.
Interesting.
I wonder if it's got the remnants of a sea pen or something down there.
I could get
Yeah.
closer if you want to find out. But
Sure. So they do feed on cnidarians.
Chris Kelly asks, why creepy? It just wants to suck Dan's brains out through the straw like a proboscis.
you can go wide, thanks.
Happy thoughts from Chris.
I ain't got no brains to suck out, so spider would go hungry. It's been drained already. I have children. Why is my camera not doing its thing?
Oh, there goes an urchin.
Oh, weird. Okay, I can try that. I don't, it's about as close as I can get. You can go for full zoom there, trying to see what it's munching on the sand.
So it's clearly stuck its proboscis into the sediment.
And there's a little, no, I think that's part of the spider. Yeah, I can't tell.
So we won't be able to tell what it's feeding on, but
Nope.
This is a pretty good view. That's interesting. I've never seen one do that before.
All right, thank you very much.
Okay, go wide, thanks.
Let me take a quick look at the big sponge as we fly by.
Got it.
Chris Kelly is saying it could be Bathydoris, which is a rosellid.
Shoreside, let us know if you want samples, but also this is a long dive. We're looking at a 20 to 24 hour dive, so I'm going to be hesitant to collect things this early in the dive just because I don't want them to be in the bio box that long, and I don't want to fill up completely quick before later watches. But if you see something that's really different, let me know.
You want close-ups here, or are you good with?
I think that's probably good.
Okay.
Thanks.
It's very cool
Whoa,
bathymetry
it's
here,
like
but
slot.
I'd love to follow it, but not quite the right direction. I'm gonna follow it anyways.
A big coral fan coming up.
It's going uphill, so
Or
if we
coral?
want
Sponge.
if we want to slide Argus,
Sponge.
Atalanta over here so you can follow it, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, let's
Sure.
look at this
While we're looking at the sponge, Chris, you want to
Yep.
put
Looks like
Atalanta on top of her?
Tetrapleura.
Yep.
One of these coral-like sponges.
It also looks like it's got a sea star eating it.
Treadopleura, excuse me.
Bridge nav 20275.
kind of missing the base in that shot. I can back up a little or come around the other side. Or if you're happy with that.
I'm happy with that.
Right.
Thanks. Actually, a quick zoom before you fly away on the star on the bottom right, though.
Yeah, go ahead. Push in. You can go full zoom there, I think.
All right, thank you.
So start eating the sponge or the stuff
That's
growing
fine.
on the sponge? Okay, you can go ahead.
My guess is it's eating the sponge. I think that stuff is actually might be dead sponge tissue, not something growing on it, but I'm not 100% sure.
So how big can some of these sponges get?
We saw a few of these in previous dives that were quite large, in excess of a meter wide. Maybe even 2. I don't remember exactly.
But some types of glass sponges can get Hercules sized.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, like the famous minivan sponge. Maybe
Park-
if Chris in the chat wants to share a bit about that, we
We
can
parked
relay
Herc in a
his
sponge
message.
before.
Long story short, there was a sponge the size of a minivan that got a lot of popular press.
I'll Google that later.
Hey Dan, when you get a chance, can you just reboot everything in Cinema Bottle, the NDI and the camera, please?
Really?
Yeah, we found a new failure mode.
Oh, in cinema. Yeah, can do.
Another paramericid sitting down in the crack. Coral, please.
Go ahead. I can push in there, please.
This is a hemicorallium.
Also in a hole.
Also kind of in a hole, but in a channel. The channels makes more sense to me. All right, thank you.
Okay, can go ahead, thanks.
So when I'm doing these live interactions with the students, so like a lot of the one of the questions that comes up is like, the health of the corals. Like when we look at
Makes
these
me
corals,
seasick.
are they healthy looking? Do you think, or?
I mean, it depends on the coral. As a general rule, they seem to be like that hemicorallium looked very healthy.
Yeah.
But we'll also see them, dying sometimes. We see lots of skeletons. So we see kind of all life stages.
Yeah, I'll have to zoom on the tadpole there.
But this is very common, like throughout all
Yeah.
regions?
Yep, pretty much.
It's another rat tail.
You happy with that? Or you want more?
If we can get a bit more.
Harold always wants more. At some point, the details will kind of pop there, like there.
Nice.
Good?
Yep, I think that's good. Thank you.
There's a gastropod
Okay, you
shell in
can
there,
go wide,
shell
thanks.
in there as well. But yeah, back to your question. We know very little about kind of disease, density-dependent processes on how high a density these things can live in, how disease spreads, what kills corals other than coral predators. Those are all questions that really we haven't got to the point of being able to ask and answer very effectively in the deep sea. There's one study I can think of off the top of my head that looked at some of the density-related mortality in sponge reefs around Johnston Atoll for those kind of questions in the Pacific.
Chris Kelly is sharing a bit more about the minivan sponge. He's currently working on a manuscript about it with a collaborator in Moscow, Konstantin Tibeknik, who thinks it's a species of Lophocalyx.
Couple more barnacles, couple more paramyrcids here.
Yeah, if you're at home and you've never seen a picture of this sponge, just Google minivan sponge. It's pretty interesting to look at.
I think we're ready for what where are you going again, Chris?
Now we're doing 185. South.
Roger.
Bridge now, 20185.
We have a guest in the visitor chat room. They said they were actually in that live stream when they did discover that huge minivan sponge. They were...
Really beautiful anemone.
Can zoom in there for a quick beauty shot. While I try and stab the upper camera with a rock. Yeah. Are we? We're not recording that one, or are you? Okay, you can go wide, thanks. Unless science wants more there.
Nope, that works for us. Thanks.
Look at that wall.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's pretty cool. There was another earlier seamount with sort of a similar lava flow landscape that totally looked like a skate park.
Oh, I'm out of leash there.
Just judging by the sand ripples, it looks like there can be a moderate amount of flow in these channels.
Can you
And we've got some
come
corals
down a few meters there?
in the channel, making use of that.
Say again, Dan.
Oh, I was just asking Jaden to come down till she
Oh.
until they hit the rocks.
Are any of these rocks loose, maybe?
I don't know. Light years away. Could be loose. I think Herc will fit in that little canyon there.
Once.
What's that?
It'll fit once. I could tell you exactly. It will not.
It will not.
No.
Norbit says no.
No. It's about 2/3 a Herc width.
I don't think any of those are loose.
Okay.
But you never know till you poke.
Yep.
I gotta. Can you do 20 south?
Yep. Bridge nav 20180.
So we're getting up to the top of this local high.
You'll have to come up. No, dude.
Copy.
I'll come back towards you a bit while we're.
Can you look at the wood, please? While
Sure.
we're definitely seen more woodfalls here than other parts of the Pacific I'm used to working in.
Yeah.
I've seen several on every dive.
Yeah, and we've tried to be diligent about grabbing a zoom of these woodfalls when we run into them, because they do tend to have unique communities.
Yeah.
And even though they're hard to see
Squared
from
up
video,
on it here.
you can still get some idea of what's going on. And we did collect one wood sample so far.
I should be able to go tight on my wood now.
So the crazy thing is with lumber
Nice and
prices,
slow.
There's these little white squat lobsters that we've seen on some of the other woodfalls.
Yeah, they're pretty consistent. I know there's been a couple we haven't seen them on, but more often than not that they're there. You got any more zoom? Thank you.
Yeah, if we could just scan the whole thing.
Gastropods and
You want to do the Jaden super slow
yes, please.
scan? I don't know how they did it. Maybe I could. Oh, Jaden's on it.
Wow. Jaden has a certain finesse that Dan lacks.
Jaden has a level of patience that
Yeah.
was burned out of me many years ago. Beaten out of me.
These little
Yeah,
squat
nice-
lobsters are
nice finesse
Dan's
there.
mortal enemy.
Gonna make a movie of that, Dan versus the lobster.
See, that log right there is probably like still like $100 at Home Depot.
Looks without the consistency of the parts of my 1940s farmhouse at home.
I see your 1940s farmhouse and raise you 1870s New England.
All right, I think we're good. Thank you.
If we could
Or
get
what?
a quick look at the top edge of it. I think just to cover the whole thing.
From this angle, or you want to?
Just to zoom on this top part.
Yeah, go ahead, Jay.
There's a researcher, Emily Young, who might be interested in going through some of this video in great detail. All right, that should be good. Thank you.
I'll wait for the ultra focus there. Happy?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You can go wide. I should have been on. I should have been on it here. I was focused on the wood. Jake's ghost slider is ghosting me.
So there's once again a spirited debate in the chat about the geology of the landscape.
Oh, I wouldn't say it's spirited. I'm not willing to argue too much on this side, but
Chris seems pretty convinced that it's karst topography.
yep, he does. I remain less convinced, but I agree it has a lot of elements of karst topography.
What does that mean?
Karst topography is generally limestone that has been exposed to water, and it causes pockets and sinkholes and holes through it where basically wherever you get water pooling, it dissolves the limestone preferentially, and so you get these pocketed, hummocked, kind of rocky terrains, which is really classic of karst. Like,
So basically Florida.
yeah, literally the entire state of Florida, pretty much from the Panhandle down, is some level of karst topography. Absolutely. And most of the rocks we have been pulling up that we have been checking, we've actually been dropping hydrochloric acid. We've been breaking them open to get past the manganese encrusting, and then putting some hydrochloric acid on there, and they're carbonate. So what happens when you put the hydrochloric acid on there, it fizzes, and that's carbon dioxide getting released, which is a really good indication it's limestone or some type of carbonate, which has been consistent here. But when you look at the larger bathymetry of the area,
Yeah, go for it.
I would be pretty surprised looking at the multi-beam that this would have been exposed to the point of being shallow reef, because we're still 700 meters off the summit of a very peaky ridge. So if this had been subaerial at some point to have a reef formation, it's hard for me to believe that the very peaky part wouldn't have been eroded away as well. Looks like
Okay, video, you can
basket star
push
in
in there,
here.
please. What does Narbit say now? Will Herc fit in there? I'm saying no.
Basket star and tubers engines.
Closer, but no.
Dang it.
Yeah, there's the...
Nice.
What's all the stuff on the wall? greens, though.
Not sure.
Dan, there you go. We're pretty close. Just enough to get wedged in there and stuck.
Oh, I'm stuck.
All right. I think
Is that
we're good, thank you.
is that the animal moving or is that the current moving?
Could be either. I can't tell. I would guess current, but yeah. I mean, it looks like just looking like the particle flow, it looks like there's a pretty good right to left current flow.
Is this dead coral?
There's probably some dead
Okay,
coral
I think
underneath
you
it,
can
but
go
that's a brittle star, a close relative of the, or it is a basket star, a close relative of the brittle star, with a couple sea stars there, Brisingid, all up on some type of stalk, probably a dead coral stalk.
Thank you.
I will preference all the discussion about the geology as this is biologists arguing about geology. So I'm sure there are some geologists somewhere rolling over and just dying listening to us conjecture about something we know very little about.
Okay, I think we're pointed in the right direction again.
Yeah, you're kind of should be pretty much on the top.
Go look around here in the. Where are we going after this then? Down the hill somewhere?
Yeah, still downhill, still pretty much south.
All right. Yeah, I'm seeing them at the top. All right, you can move the ship, Chris. We'll put Atlanta down the hill first.
Bridge nav, 30165.
So we're going to be going downhill for a little while, which is a little annoying with a two-body ROV system. So we're going to kind of be backing up here for a bit. Lots of basket stars. I love basket stars. They're so cool.
All sitting on the fringe of this table.
This would have been a neat photogrammetry opportunity.
It would have been a hard photogrammetry opportunity.
Yeah, it would have.
All the shadows and everything would make stitching this together quite annoying, probably.
Well, we got the raw files if anyone wants to try.
We would have had to fly around 20 times over this to get enough different angles, I think. I don't know. There will be a lot of areas we didn't get coverage on.